Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Yes, Prabhu.
Ram.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Subhadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण जय श्री प्रभुपाद.
So Hare Krishna, accept my obeisances of Lord Shri Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. So any questions or anything to discuss? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Anybody?
I have a question.
Yes.
The mind itself is the Lord, right, Prabhu?
What is that again?
Mind.
What about the mind?
So the mind itself, it's the Lord, and how to conquer that mind?
How to conquer the mind, no?
Yeah, because it's the Lord itself, right?
So you cannot conquer the Lord, no? You can only surrender.
I see.
So if you want to conquer the mind, you need the help of the Lord, correct?
Absolutely. Yes.
Without the help of the Lord, it is not possible, no?
Yes, Prabhu. It's not possible.
No, it's not. So you can see here, this is the way to conquer the mind. You can read.
This uncontrolled mind is the greatest enemy of the living entity. If one neglects it or gives it a chance, it will grow more and more powerful and it will become victorious. Although it's not factual, it is very strong. It covers the constitutional position of the soul. O King, please try to conquer this mind by the weapons of service to the Spirit of spiritual master and of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Do this with great care.
You want to read the purport?
Yes, no. There is one easy weapon with which the mind can be conquered. Disobedience. The mind is always telling us to do this, that, therefore we should be very expert in disobeying the mind's orders. Gradually, the mind should be trained to obey the orders of the soul. It is not that one should obey the orders of the mind. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura used to say that to control the mind, one should beat it with shoes many times just after awakening and again before going to sleep. In this way, one can control the mind. Is that correct, Prabhu? We need to do that?
He's telling you how it is, how difficult it is to control the mind. You must beat him with the shoes, 100 times. How you can beat the mind anyway? You can't see the guy. Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
So it is just to tell you what you have. The mind is never your friend, is it?
Yes, Prabhu.
Understand?
Yeah. Correct,
So I
Prabhu.
say not to do so. This is the instruction of all the shastras not to do so. Right?
Yes,
You can read.
Prabhu.
One is doomed to follow the dictation of the mind. You see that? Can you read on?
Yes, another bona fide process is to abide strictly by the orders of the spiritual master and engage in the Lord's service. Then the mind will be automatically controlled. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has instructed Srila Rupa Goswami, when he sees the seed of devotional service by the mercy of the Guru and Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one's real life begins. If one abides by the orders of the spiritual master, by the grace of Krishna, he is freed from service to the mind.
So what do you understand?
Mind is very powerful, Prabhu. So we just ignore what mind tells us to do.
No, it's difficult to know, The best thing you can do is to engage the mind in Krishna's service. Gurus and Krishna's service. If some or other you can bring Krishna into your mind, then you are safe.
Yes, Prabhu, yes.
Like for example, now you are very much dedicated to serving already because you have now connected and you got directions and you are much more able to at least control your mind. Yes?
As long as I am in the service, I am good. The moment I am out of the service, I am doomed.
Yes. At least that's a realization for you, no? As long as I'm engaged in Krishna's service, I'm safe, no? Yes?
Yes, Prabhu, absolutely.
So this is practical what we say. Example, wow. See, if I am with Krishna, I have no problem. When I leave Krishna, I have more problem. So better I don't leave Krishna. Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
That realization is there, is it not?
Correct, Prabhu.
So this is how we have to handle Maya. That's why Krishna says, by surrendering to me, you can overcome my Maya. Correct?
Yes, Prabhu.
See,
Yeah.
Krishna says,
What I understood is not try to conquer, but surrender.
Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Krishna says here, no? Yes.
The divine energy of mind, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. What is surrender means, Prabhu?
Surrender means there's 6 kinds of things that you should do when you surrender, no? It's here in this verse. I'll take that out for you. 6 symptoms of surrender. Give me a minute, let me take it out for you.
Okay, Prabhu.
It's a verse that you can read, what is the surrender.
Yes, Prabhu.
So surrender means from Hari Anukulasya Sankalpa is the verse.
Pratikulyasya varchanam.
Huh?
Anukulyasya sankalpah pratikulyasya varchanam.
Yeah. Figure out the verse. Anukulasya Sankalpa. It is in, 407. Yeah, 2200. See here. So these are the 6 symptoms of surrender.
Okay, Prabhu.
So this is the verse. Someone want to chant this?
Anukulyasya sankalpah pratikulyasya varjanam rakshishyatiti vishvaso goptrutve varanam tata atmanikshepakarpanye shadvida sharanagati.
So these are the 6 forms of surrender.
Yes, Prabhu. The 6 divisions of surrender are the acceptance of those things favorable to devotional service, the rejection of unfavorable things, the conviction that Krishna will give protection, the acceptance of the Lord as one's guardian or master, full self-surrender and humility. Purport. One who is fully surrendered is qualified with the 6 following characteristics. The devotee has to accept everything that is favorable for the rendering of transcendental loving service to the Lord. He must reject everything unfavorable to the Lord's service. This is also called renunciation. A devotee must be firmly convinced that Krishna will give him protection. No one else can actually give one protection. And being firmly convinced of this is called faith. This kind of faith is different from the faith of an impersonalist who wants to merge into the Brahman effulgence in order to benefit by cessation of repeated birth and death. A devotee wants to remain always in the Lord's service. In this way, Krishna is to his devotee and give him all protection from the dangers found on the path of devotional service. The devotee should accept Krishna as his supreme maintainer and master, not think that he is being protected by a demigod. He should depend only on Krishna, considering him the only protector. The devotee must be firmly convinced that within these 3 worlds he has no protector or maintainer other than Krishna. Self-surrender means remembering that one's activities and desires are not independent. The devotee is completely dependent on Krishna and he acts and thinks as Krishna desires. The devotee is meek and humble. Lord Krishna states in Bhagavad Gita, Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishta matta smritir gnanam apohanam cha vedaischa sarve raham eva vedyo vedanta krit veda vid eva chaham. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas, situated in everyone's heart. Krishna deals differently according to the living entity's position. Living entity position is to be under the protection of illusory energy or under the Krishna's protection. When a living entity is fully surrendered, he is under the direct protection of Krishna and Krishna gives all intelligence which he can spiritual realization. The non-devotee, however, being under the protection of the illusory energy, increasingly forgets his relationship with Krishna. Sometimes it is asked how Krishna causes one to forget. Krishna personally causes his devotee to forget material activities, and through the agency of Maya, Krishna causes the non-devotee to forget his devotional service to the This is called apohana.
So you see here, there are 6 forms of surrender.
Yes, Prabhu.
One is to do accept things which are favorable to devotional service.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hmm? Then favorable things are like accepting the spiritual master, taking shelter of Krishna, hearing the Bhagavatam, reading the Bhagavatam, associating with devotees, staying in a holy place. These all are favorable things, The rejection of unfavorable things like you don't eat meat, fish, eggs, you don't have illicit sex, you don't gamble, you don't intoxicate. You understand? These are unfavorable things.
Got it, Prabhu. Yes.
The conviction that Krishna will give protection, that we have to have faith, Krishna will always save me. The acceptance Lord as one's guardian or master. That means there's no sarva dharma parityaja mam ekam sharanam vraja. Just accepting Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead and I'm his servant. 100%, yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
And full surrender and to become humble.
Yes, Prabhu.
So all these things has to be understood like that, no? Then yes, Krishna will, once you become a devotee in this understanding, then Krishna will please, and when Krishna is pleased, then what's the problem? Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
So how to do this all? You cannot do it with your own speculation. You need a spiritual master to help you on this. So without the guidance of a spiritual master, it's impossible to self-surrender and humility and, to learn and how the Lord is the master and, how Krishna will give protection, how to do devotional service favorably, how to not do it favorably. So all these are there with this one thing, to accept a pure devotee as one spiritual master. If you don't have a spiritual master, it's impossible to perform this surrender. It is not possible. That's why to guide the living entity, Krishna have asked everybody to take a spiritual master. Right? You see here, this is what Krishna has advised. Start with the pranipatena, pariprasnena sevaya, upadekshanti te jnanam, jnanina tattva darshinaha. Let's try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master, inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you because he has seen the truth.
So what is meant by he has seen the truth, Prabhu?
All right, very good question. So just before we go, so the truth is explained in the next verse. Yagyantva punarmoham evam yasyasi pandava tena bhutani asesani drakshyasi atmani tato mahi. This is the translation, I mean, the verse.
Having obtained real knowledge from a self-realized soul, you will never fall again into such illusion. For by this knowledge, you will see that all living beings are but part of the Supreme, or in other words, that they are.
So in other words, you learn how to see that everybody is part and parcel of the Lord as a spiritual person. You understand?
I see.
That is real knowledge. Like now you are understanding that you are servant of Krishna, correct?
Yes, Prabhu.
Hmm? So how did you learn that?
Uh, Reading and by listening Prabhupada lectures.
So in other words, by associating with a pure devotee, you came to realize, yes?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
Hmm. So the pure devotee is required. The pure devotee's association is required. So when you get that association, then definitely you will understand things as they are. So therefore, Guru is very important. Without Guru, there cannot be surrender. That's why Krishna says in this verse, the previous verse, just try to learn the truth by approaching the spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. So in Sanskrit, you see this word, pranipatena means surrender, Pariprasnena means inquiry and sevaya means rendering service. So spiritual life starts from this one point that you have to surrender.
Yes.
If you don't surrender, there's no question of getting this knowledge to perform devotional service. Yes, you may hear, we are not saying no. You may read a book. Yes, you can carry on. But the real thing is that you have to surrender. So that's what we have to do. Some or other, we have to learn how to surrender, and only with the help of a pure devotee, we will do that. Because just now you asked the question, how to control the mind, correct?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
So surrendering is based on the mental strength. The mind and the false ego and intelligence are the three subtle things that you cannot see. And because of the influence of the false ego, nobody wants to surrender. You understand?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes. Yes.
Hmm. So by surrendering properly to the proper personalities, then you get the knowledge. And with the knowledge and strength, you overcome all these material problems. And then you go back to the spiritual world. Yes.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes. Yes.
Hmm. This is
Prabhu
how
looks
it
like
works. Hmm. Tell me.
I was going to say you are very tired, Prabhu.
Yeah, I'm up since 2 o'clock, 2:30. I'm, for me it's a long day.
Prabhu, looks like you chant at 2:30. Is this okay to chant before 4:30, something like that?
Why you can? Why nobody say you cannot chant at 2:30? Hmm?
Oh,
Correct.
yeah.
This is my everyday routine. Then usually I take a nap. So now my nap time actually, but I'm sacrificing it for all of you.
Thanks so much, Prabhu. Thank you.
Anyway, if I can do some small service, I'm more than happy.
Thank you so much.
So you have to tolerate my little dosing, what to do. So you keep me busy by asking questions, then I will always be alert. Yesterday was a holiday here, the Malay New Year. I don't know, it is a holiday there.
No problem.
So here it was a holiday. We had a very long holiday. On Monday was off on the Labor Day. Tuesday is Muslim New Year, so they had Monday, Tuesday.
Oh,
Today they are starting work,
I see. Long weekend.
Long weekend, yeah. So during long weekend, many people get mostly to doing sinful activities, no?
Hmm.
Yes, Prabhu.
So the more they do that, the more they become very much bewildered. Hmm?
Yes,
When you don't follow the rules and regulation, then you implicate it, no?
yes, Prabhuji.
Hmm? To explain here. You want to read?
Yes, Prabhu. My dear Arjuna, one who does not follow in human life the cycle of sacrifice thus established by the Vedas certainly leads a life full of sin. Living only for the satisfaction of the senses, such a person lives in vain.
So this is what's going on, no?
Yes. The Mamonist philosophy of very hard and enjoy sense gratification is condemned herein by the Lord. Therefore, for those who want to enjoy this material world, above mentioned cycle of performing yajnas is absolutely necessary. One who does not follow such regulations is living a very risky, being condemned more and more. This human form of life is specifically meant for self-realization in either of three ways, namely Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, or Bhakti Yoga. There is no necessity of rigidly following the performances of the prescribed yajnas for the transcendentalists who are above vice and virtue. Those who are engaged in sense gratification require purification by the above mentioned cycle of yajna performances. There, there are different kinds of activities. Those who are not Krishna conscious are certainly engaged in sensory consciousness. Therefore, they need to excuse guesswork. The yajna system is planned in such a way that sensory conscious persons may satisfy their desires without becoming entangled in the reaction of sense gratificatory work. The prosperity of the world depends on our own efforts, but on the background arrangement of the Supreme Lord, directly carried out by the demigods. Therefore, yajnas are directly aimed at the particular demigods mentioned in the Vedas. Indirectly, it is the practice of Krishna consciousness because when one masters performance of yajnas, one is to become Krishna conscious. But if performing yajnas, one does not become Krishna conscious, such principles are counted as only moral codes. One should not therefore limit his progress only to the point of moral codes, but should transcend them to attain Krishna consciousness.
So you can see here, the moment you try to enjoy the senses without the direction of the Shastra, then your life is certainly lives a life full of sin, right?
Yes,
Living only for satisfying the senses, such a person lives in vain. So anyone is interested in enjoying the senses, the resultant reaction is going to be very, what we say, painful.
yes, Prabhu.
So we should try to not get into that direction. That's why I say the moment they have any kind of salary they get, or the moment they get a longer holiday, you're always into wanting to party and wanting to do all kind of crazy things. Yes,
Yes.
that is the nature of the senses. They want to be engaged. Think that by doing that they can get a lot of happiness, but no. Sense gratification, it says here, living only for the satisfaction of the senses, such a person lives in vain. Hmm? Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
First thing that happens in such kind of thing is that the person gets completely bewildered. No?
Yes.
Moga asha moga karmano moga jnana vishet saha rakshasim asurim chaiva. You see this?
Yes.
Prakritim mukinem shritaha.
Those who are thus bewildered are attracted by demonic and atheistic views. In the deluded condition, their hopes for liberation, their fruitive activities, and their culture of knowledge are all defeated.
See that?
Yes,
The
Prabhu.
moment you become bewildered by sense gratification, then you be attracted to by demonic, because this is the mode of passion and ignorance, no? So the mode of passion and ignorance will lead you to this kind of a position to become demonic and to become atheistic, right? And when you go in that direction, then everything is deluded. Liberation is impossible. Fruitive activities, karma, and the culture of knowledge, no knowledge, all defeated.
Yes.
So you see what happens when you try to enjoy the senses.
Yeah, Prabhu. Yes.
Hmm. So our whole idea is to stop this sense gratification. Of course, the senses cannot be idle. We engage the senses in the service of the Lord. No?
Yes.
Yeah, Rishikena Rishikesa Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. So when you engage the senses in the service of the Lord, then everything is adjusted.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hmm? But you don't do it, then you're going to be in big trouble. This is what happens. Hmm?
Yes, Prabhu.
Hmm? So for we have to be intelligent. Rishikena Rishikesa Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. Our senses have to be engaged in the service of the Lord. Trying to find this verse, Rishikesa. Rishikena. Oh, where's this verse? Rishikena. It is there in the Rishikena Rishikena 394. So you can see here this verse. So this is the way to control the senses,
Okay, Prabhu.
Sarva upadi vinirmuktam tat paratvena nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhakti ruchate.
Translation. Bhakti or devotional service means engaging all our senses in the service of the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Master of all the senses. When the spirit soul renders service unto the Supreme, there are two side effects. One is freed from all material designations, and one's senses are purified simply by being employed on the service of the Lord.
See that?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
This is how we can get free from the senses. Unless we engage in the service of the Lord, we will get very much implicated.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hmm?
I guess we'll be more engaged when we start building the temple, Prabhu. It's so busy,
Hmm.
all the services. So, and that takes also time. And that requires a lot of effort.
As long as you are engaged in Krishna's service, then you become free from all kind of destination. You understand?
Yes, Prabhu.
If you are not engaged in Krishna's service, then there will be big trouble, no?
Correct, Prabhu. Yes.
See, it says here, even one of the senses are not controlled. They can immediately carry the intelligence away, no?
Yes, Prabhu. As
Read
a,
out.
as a strong wind sweeps away a boat on the water, even one of the roaming senses on which the mind focuses can carry away a man's intelligence.
See that?
Yes.
Even one of the senses,
What are the roaming senses, Prabhu?
roaming senses mean the senses are always engaging in sense gratification, no? The eyes is roaming around, the ears want to hear some nice music, and the nose wants to smell good things, and then the tongue wants to eat, tasting all kind of food. So the senses are always yankering, no?
Oh, okay, Prabhu. Yeah, got it, Prabhu.
Hmm? So when the senses are roaming like that, then the mind, which is behind the senses, it will attract it. Correct?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
Hmm. So when the mind get attracted, then you perform the task.
Yes.
Then you get implicated. Of course, if you perform a Krishna conscious task, then you are not implicated. Huh?
Yes, Prabhu.
But if you perform a task for your enjoying the senses, then you get implicated. Correct?
Correct, Prabhu.
Then as a result of that implication, the resultant action is going to be disastrous. Hmm?
Yes, Prabhu.
The moment you get into sense gratification, it is says here, thus perplexed by various anxieties and bound by a network of illusion, they become too strongly attached to sense enjoyment and fall down into hell. Hmm?
Yes, Prabhu.
You want to read the purport?
Yes, Prabhu. The demonic man knows no limit to his desire to acquire money. That is unlimited. He thinks only of how much assessment he has just now and schemes to engage that stock of wealth further. For that reason, he does not hesitate to sinful way and so deals in the black market for gratification. He is enamored by the possessions he has, such as land, family, house, and bank balance, and he is always planning to improve them. He believes in his own strength and he does not know that whatever he is gaining is due to his past good deeds. He is given an opportunity to accumulate such things, but he has no conception of past causes. He simply thinks that all his mass of wealth is due to his own endeavor. A demonic person believes in the strength of his personal work, not in the law of karma. According to the law of karma, a takes his birth in a high family or becomes rich, very well educated, or very beautiful because of good work in the past. Hold on. The demonic think that all these things are accidental and due to the strength of one's personal ability. They do not sense any arrangement behind all the varieties of people, beauty, and education. Anyone who comes into the competition with such a demonic man in is enemy. There are many demonic people, and each is enemy to the others. The enmity becomes more and more deep between persons, then between families, then between societies, and at last between nations. Therefore, there is constant strife, war, and enmity all over the world. Each demonic person thinks that he can live at the sacrifice of all others. Generally, a demonic person thinks of himself as the supreme God, and a demonic preacher tells his followers, "Why are you seeking God elsewhere? You are all yourself God. Whatever you like, you can do. Don't believe in God. Throw away God. God is dead." These are the demonic's preachings. Although demonic person sees others equally rich and influential, or more so, he thinks that no one is richer than he and that no one is more influential than he. As far as promotion to the higher planetary system is concerned, it does not believe in performing yajnas or sacrifices. Humans think that they will manufacture their own process of yajna and prepare some machine by which they will be able to reach any higher planet. Example of such a demonic man was Ravana. He offered a program to the people by which he would prepare a staircase so that anyone could reach the heavenly planets without performing sacrifices such as are prescribed in the Vedas. Similarly, in the present age, such demonic men are striving to reach the higher planetary system by mechanical arrangements. These are the examples of bewilderment. The result is that without their knowledge, they glide toward hell. Here the Sanskrit word moha jala, very significant. Jala means net, like fish caught in the net. They have no way to come out. They are
So you
entangled.
can see, but this is what happens when you try to gratify the senses. And your pathway to hell is assured, no?
Yes, Prabhu.
Hmm. So people don't know, they think, wow, the goal of life is to just enjoy,
Yes, Prabhu.
Hmm. Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
They think that is the goal of life. Hmm? So this is how a person, they don't know the destruction.
Yes, Prabhu. My,
Arun
my
Prabhu, can you read? Hare Krishna, Arun Prabhu. Kirtida Mataji, can you read?
Yes, Prabhuji. My dear Lord, people in a general want to be elevated to the higher planetary system for a long duration of a life. opulences, and enjoyment. But I have seen all of this through the activity of my father. When my father was angry and he launched sarcastically
Laughed sarcastically.
sarcastically at the demigods, they were immediately vanished simply by seeing the movement of his eyebrows. Yet my father, who was so powerful, has now been vanished by you within a moment.
So you see here, every living entity, they want to have this, all this kind of a facility, no? Long duration of life, opulence, enjoyment. This is all that Hiranyakashipu got. And within a moment, the Lord killed him and everything was finished. Huh? So the same way, the living entity is trying so hard to get so many things. He's trying to get all these things. Whatever is produced by the materialists with great pain and labor for so-called happiness, the Supreme Personality as time factor destroys, and for this reason, the conditioned soul mends. So you try to do anything other than Krishna consciousness, nothing will work. Misguided materialist does not know that his very body is impermanent and that the attraction for home, land and wealth, which are in relationship with the body,
Or also
yes,
temporary. Out of ignorance only he thinks that everything is permanent.
relation to that body also temporary. Out of ignorance only he thinks that everything is permanent. So this is how it goes. By time, Krishna destroys everything. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, no time I am destroyer of the three worlds. Yes.
Mm.
So nothing can escape the Lord. Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
So this is the point. If we don't want to follow the rules and regulations given by Krishna and we want to misuse everything that is given us for so-called enjoyment, then the consequence is going to be very drastic. You understand? That's why everybody, they don't know these things. You see, like you are there in America, they don't know. They think everything is for their enjoyment. Yes.
Yes, true.
They don't know they have to serve the Lord. They think God has produced everything for their enjoyment. That's how they believe, no? Yes. So the West, particularly the West, is highly, course, not everywhere also. They all are very much into the mode of passion and ignorance. Is it not?
Mm-hmm.
So because of lack of knowledge, they don't know. That's why our preaching is to be there,
Mm-hmm.
at least to help them understand what's going on. As though you are going out and distributing books, it's so important.
Mm-hmm.
Because you may think this is difficult. Of course, it's difficult. These guys are not even interested, no?
Mm-hmm.
Moment you get into sanctification, you become, as I explained, you become bewildered, no? You
It's
don't know
true.
what to do, what not to do. You simply become like an animal. So somebody else has to help them, no?
Mm-hmm.
Like Krishna's mercy, all of you are put there. So you can distribute books or you can give to sadham. In some way they interact with you. They start listening to you. In this way you can change some people's life.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, how to do it? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions?
I have one more question.
Hmm.
Chanting on initiation beats, right, Prabhu? So when you are sick, can we, without, when you're sick, you don't take bath. So how do we, can we still chant on those beats, Prabhu?
You can take mantra bath.
Oh, mantra bath, Prabhu? What is that, Prabhu?
You chant Om Pavitra Pavitra Va Sarva Vastam Gatopi Va Yasmarat Pundarikaksham Sa Bhaya Bhayantara Suchihi Sri Vishnu Sri Vishnu Sri Vishnu. You chant this mantra, then you clean yourself mentally, and then you can chant.
Prabhu, so I don't know if anyone else knows it.
Yeah,
I'll
I can tell.
Mataji, please share.
Yeah.
Share with him so he can take, but don't do when you're not sick or something.
Oh, no, Prabhu.
Then you are lazy.
No, I'm talking about when I'm really sick, Prabhu.
Yeah, when you're sick, yeah, if you cannot take some bath, then you can chant this mantra at least.
Okay, Prabhu.
Then you get purified, no?
Okay, Prabhu.
Then you can chant on the beats, no problem.
Okay. So if I lose the initiation bits, what do, Prabhu?
Initiation beat is the beat that we chant on, and we are giving it to you.
So, but if I lose it,
Then you always can take another beat and start chanting with it, no?
oh, okay.
So you have to, I didn't get my beat myself. It was sent by Prabhupada and Indian mail system didn't deliver.
Oh,
So I had to get another set of beats.
okay, Prabhu.
So the main thing is to chant, because with the beats chanted by Prabhupada on your beat, that's the best we can get.
I-
The contact of a pure devotee is different, no?
Yes, Prabhu.
So we will be doing it on behalf of Prabhupada and we'll be giving it to you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, related to that, I have a question. Like, when the women are not in a suchi, they should chant on the initiated beats, or they can, they should chant on the some other beats during that time.
The beats cannot be contaminated.
So we can use the same beats?
Yes.
Okay.
The beats cannot be contaminated, no?
Okay. This okay. Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Prabhu,
Yes.
also some people you tell when you're traveling to some other place, don't take your initiation beads. It will get
Lost.
muchi or lost or get muchi.
You already lost.
Huh?
You already lost.
I didn't
So if you
understand.
do, if you already lost and you don't want to take the beat that to save you, well, how does it happen?
No, not already lost. Like if
No,
you're
no,
I'm
no.
traveling
saying
some.
You already lost by not taking it with you.
Not
Oh,
taking.
okay,
Yeah, yeah.
okay.
already in big Maya now, we are lost, correct?
Hmm. Hmm.
And we don't want to take something that is saving us.
Yeah.
Does it make any sense?
No, Prabhu.
Yeah. Whatever we got, we should try to take and use, no?
Mm.
Yes?
Yes.
Correct?
Yes, Prabhu. And some people, when we go to holy places like Puri Jagannath or Vrindavan and go to some kunda, they wash the beads in the kunda. I mean, they dip the beads in the water. Is that
I don't
something
know. I
Prabhupada?
mean, I, your beats are your beats, no? Correct?
Uh,
Chanting with it is already pure. If you want to deep, I have no objection. You can do anything. Hmm?
hmm.
Correct?
Yes, Prabhu.
I don't think Prabhupada did all that, no? Because he's a pure devotee. But he said you should soak it in mustard oil so it gets strong, you know.
Oh,
The threads all sometimes they get weakened by prolonged use, no?
Mm.
So usually before we start chanting, we soak it in mustard oil, you know, for a day or two, so that the beats
oh, when it is
become,
new, is it?
yeah, when it's new.
Can we do it now after a few years?
Already your beat is already smoothened by your chanting one, correct?
Yeah.
Yes. No.
So what they need to do that now? Hmm?
Okay.
When it's new, yeah, you know. Hmm? Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
Mm.
So now you just have to chant with it, no?
Hmm.
Huh?
Mm. There is a question in the chat, Prabhu, by Arun Prabhu.
What's the question?
How to understand Arjuna being sorrowful at the demise of his son, even after realizing the signs of self-realization, or Dhruv Maharaj feeling joy after being back to the kingdom after the darshan of the Lord.
Arjuna been sorrowful at demise of his son even after realizing the signs of self-realization. Or Dhruv Maharaj feeling joy after being back in the kingdom. You know, he was never joyful when he went back. Huh? You understand? Arjuna was put into a situation like that so that he will exhibit his full fighting, capacity. Because he was not really fighting to full capacity after the death of what's his name? What's his name? This
Abhimanyu.
Abhimanyu.
Mhm.
Then he started really fighting in such a way that he destroyed practically all of Duryodhana's army on that day. You know, it was impossible what he did because Krishna's blessing, but he practically wiped out the army. So Krishna wanted that. So he arranged for this. And anyway, Abhimanyu, his name,
Mhm.
he was on loan for 16 days, you know. He was a very attached son of the moon god. So the moon god to say, Chandran said that I can only lend him for 16 days. So 16 days of demigod time is 16 years of our time, no?
Mhm.
So he was killed in the battle. He went back to, again, Chandraloka. So that was the story of Abhimanyu being killed. So all the demigods came to participate in the Lila, Krishna says, no?
Mhm.
So he kind of engaged in that activity, and when he was discovered, then he, Arjuna, when the Abhimanyu wanted to do this service for 16 years, and the moment he kind of took birth as Subhadra's son, and he stayed on for 16 years, and when he was finished, then he went back. That was his pastimes, Yes. So then Arjuna, was attached to Abhimanyu because Subhadra's son, no? So he was so terrified, because of this nonsense. He'd been killed, by all these people, and he was killed unjustly when he was surrendering, It's not the code of conduct in warfare. So having heard that, he said that before next sunrise, I will kill Jayadartha, who was responsible for this. So Duryodhana then, knew that Jayadartha, if you kill him, his head, if he fall on the ground, you also will die. And if Jayadartha doesn't die, Arjuna will also jump into the fire. So it was a very good situation for Duryodhana, it's a win-win for him. Whether Jayadartha dies or Jayadartha lives, he is benefiting. So Jayadartha, when he heard the thing, he wanted to go back, no, I don't want to fight anymore, I want to leave. So Duryodhana convinced him to stay. And the arrangement was, it was like a needle formation, a needle, how long the needle is. So he was put in the other end of the needle, and Arjuna had to fight from this end of the needle, by the time, I don't think he could have finished it before the sun set, no? There's a story in the Mahabharata, no? Yes. And Arjuna fought and fought until almost it's sunset. So the sun almost set already. Then Jayadartha came out happily, running. Oh, now Arjuna have to go and immolate himself. Then Krishna again make the sun come up. Correct? You know the story, right? So when the sun again appeared briefly, then Krishna told Arjuna, the Jayadartha here, what are you waiting for? And Krishna told him, when you kill him, you throw his head on the lap of his father. So Arjuna did that, and the moment of his head landed on the lap of the father put it down, and his head also exploded, no? So you see how without Krishna, Arjuna and the Pandavas, is not possible for them to have won the war, So Arjuna was not bewildered, even though he seems like bewildered, but it is all the arrangement of the Lord, because Arjuna was playing the part, You understand? It's not that he don't know, he's asking all the questions in the Gita like a bewildered person, but he's not bewildered. He's a pure devotee. You understand? Otherwise, why he stick with Krishna? Definitely he knows, no. Param Brahma, Param Dhamma, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan. He said that, right? You're the supreme truth, you're the supreme abode, supreme purifier. So he never forgot. Just for the pastime's sake, All right, so what is the next question? Dhruv Maharaj, when he left, he was not feeling joyful because he said that I came here to look for some broken glasses. I found a valuable jewel instead. So when the Lord left him after benedicting him, he was feeling very morose actually, because he said, I found the Lord, and then I'm asking some crazy things. Why I'm asking some peanuts from him? I should have asked for devotional service. Huh? So because he didn't ask for devotional service, so he felt very much disturbed, no? Are you understanding? I should have asked how I can be a devotee. Hmm?
Mm.
Instead, I asked for some broken glasses, he said, no?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
It's true.
can see all these verses, So you can see here, so the Lord benedicted him. Can see here. Dhruv Maharaj was not happy at all, Despite having achieved the desired result of his determination by worshipping the lotus feet of the Lord, Dhruv Maharaj was not very pleased. Thus he returned to his home. See that? He was not happy at all. Hmm? Yeah. So why he was not pleased? Although he got the benediction of Durva Loka, and why not? So here Vidura is asking why he was not pleased.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see here it is, he was saying, he was thinking actually. Reason why he was not happy, because he saw the Lord, no?
Mm-hmm.
Guru Maharaj thought to himself, to endeavor to be situated in the shade of the lotus feet of the Lord is not an ordinary task. Because even great brahmacharis headed by Sanandana, who practice Astanga Yoga and trance, attain the shelter of Lord's lotus feet after many, many births. Within 6 months, I have achieved the same result, yet due to my thinking differently from the Lord, I fell down from my position. See that? We think he's fallen. Just look at me, I'm so unfortunate. I approached the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead who can immediately cut the chain of the repeated of birth and death, but still out of my foolishness, I prayed for things which are perishable. So you see how he was unhappy with this. Since all the demigods in the higher planetary system will have to come down again, they are all envious of my being elevated to Vaikuntha Loka by devotional service. This intolerant demigods that dissipated my intelligence only for this reason I could not accept the genuine benediction of the instruction of Sage Narada. So you see how he is lamenting. You follow? He was not happy. So the question is that he was never joyful when he went back home. So what is the next question? If Duryodhana and his associates appear in the Lord's Lila in each cycle, would that mean that they are taking part in the Lord's Lila? How could this make them demonic as they part in the Lord's Lila each time he appears like giant Vijaya? It's a fact, not necessarily any soul will take the position of Duryodhana. Not that the same soul is appearing all the time in the body of Duryodhana. So different souls takes up this path, they all are devotees, but they play the part of a demon. Krishna will never act with the non-devotees. So Krishna is already only there with these devotees. And the devotees are like, see, Jaya and Vijaya case, they came down and took birth as trees. And when the Lord uprooted the trees, they got delivered. So the same way, there are many souls there. And they will take up the role. And when they get killed by the Lord or by devotee Arjuna, they all go back to the spiritual world. Or, they get delivered. So there is no question of that Duryodhana is an enemy and he always keep coming again and again. No. Why did Arjuna need a motivation in the form of his son Demise? He was anyway motivated to perform his duty after Lord preached to him. Yes, when the Lord in the Mahabharata, there's a scene where the Lord at one time told him that you are not really fighting to your best, Arjuna. You're especially when it comes to fighting with Bhishma and Duryodhana, Dronacharya. Arjuna was not shooting arrows properly also. Krishna could see that. At one time he chastised him, if you're not interested, no, just give me the bow and arrow, I'll finish everybody up, Then Arjuna will say, no, don't get yourself thing, I'll do it like that. So in order to get the thing going in a more, to make Arjuna surrender more, Krishna did this, And that way he became so, what we say, he was very angry. And he went to kill Jayadar. So like that, Krishna to, what we say, instigate him to fight, Because to fight against one's grandfather and to fight against one guru, this is very, it's not so easy, So Krishna had to somehow or other motivate him to do the, needful. Otherwise, there is no question of Arjuna winning the battle also. So only because of the Lord's, everything went okay. Okay, any more questions? Is that clear? Is he understood this?
Arun Prabhu?
Is he understood or no?
Maybe he's driving, I think, Prabhu. He's not.
Any other questions?
Shobha, do you have any questions?
No.
All right, then, since nobody have a question, I kind of thank you all for your very nice time with us.
Thank you so much for your
Thank you
time
so much.
and enlightening
What?
us.
Thank you so much, Prabhu, for your association. Again, a wonderful session today.
All glories to all of you, huh? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
All glories